Hi all, welcome to the channel Techcode Talk. Today we are going to solve a Leetcode problem of medium category which is valid Sudoku. So going into the problem statement, we need to determine whether the given Sudoku board is valid or not. The Sudoku board is considered as valid if it satisfies the following conditions. Like these are the following rules which it has to satisfy in order to return as valid. So we will go through the points, like what are the 3 points it is taking into consideration. Each row must contain the digits 1 to 9 without repetition. Like there are 9 rows, so each row should contain the digits from 1 to 9 without any repetition. It should not repeat. Like if 5 is here and only once the 5 should be present. Again it should not be present in any other place. So like that it should be without any repetition. Each column must contain the digits 1 to 9 without repetition. So in the column also it should not repeat, like 5, 6, 5. If it is coming again 5, then it is not valid. Also, each of the 9 3 cross 3 sub boxes of the grid must contain the digits 1 to 9 without repetition. So the sub boxes like this. This is one sub box. 5, 3, 6, 9, 8 is first sub box. So like that 1 to 9 1 to 9 sub boxes we have. So those boxes also should not contain any repetition. Like we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 boxes are there. So inside the box also it should not have any repetition. Like for example 5 3 is there, 6 is there, and in the third row again it should not have 9 5. Instead of 8, if it is having 5, then it should fail. So those are the three conditions which they have given to satisfy the valid Sudoku board. So we will go into the problem logic. So before that they have given one more note. A Sudoku board partially filled could be valid, but it is not necessarily solvable. So we need to only check like whether the for the given numbers whether it is valid or not. We don't want to consider about like whether it can be solvable or not. That point we no need to consider. We need to only check like the given partially filled Sudoku board is valid. Only the filled cells need to be validated according to the mentioned rules. So we are only considering the filled cells. So we have to take consideration the filled cells only. So we will go to the logic and the problem discussion, like how we can solve this. This is test case 1 which they have given in the problem, which I have represented like this. So if you see there are like 9 boxes which I have represented in the different colors. So just for identification. And I have represented the indexes from 0 to 8, which is indicating the column index. The top ones are the column index and the left this side index or the row index like 0 1 2 3 4 5. So element 5, this 5 is present in the which cell 0 0, which is represented by row and column. Similarly this 9 is represented by 1 and 4, like 1 is the row and 4 is the column. So we need to check like whether all the cells are satisfying those three conditions. If any of the cell is not satisfying that condition, then we'll have to return it false. It is not valid, so we have to return it false. For example 5 3, now here if I am having 5 instead of 7, so in this case the row rule will fail, right? Because in the first row we are having the duplicate of 5, so in this case it should fail. Suppose here 5 6 5 is there, so when validating the column rule this should fail. Since 5 6 5 duplicate is present, it should fail. This is the column rule. And for the box rule, like 5 3 6 9 5, if it is like this, then also it should fail, because inside the box itself one more duplicate is there. So what I'm trying to say is we need to consider for each element whether the duplicate is present in row wise, column wise, or box wise. So that point we are allowed to consider. So initially not going to discuss this whole example. Instead I am going to take only the first box just to understand the logic. Okay. So coming to the first box alone, which is represented like this: 5 3 6 9 8. Only the first box is there. Remaining elements are empty. So in the note they have given like only for the filled elements we need to consider, and for the empty elements we can just ignore it. So I am just ignoring the empty elements in this. First, we are going to check whether this 3 cross 3 matrix which belongs to box 1 is valid or not. So to check whether it is valid or not, I'll have to check each element for the three rules. That is for the row wise, column wise, and for the box wise. So first we are taking the 5. So 5 we'll have to check row wise, column wise, and box wise. And also they have mentioned in the problem that the elements are present from 1 to 9. Like only 1 to 9 digits will be present in this whole board box. So we need to consider only the numbers from 1 to 9. So that is one more point to note. So now coming to 5 element which we are going to consider. So 5 where it is present in row 0, column is also 0, row 0, column is 0, and box is 0th box. This is the first box, so 0th box. Okay, so that I have mentioned. Coming to 9, like 9 is present in second row, second index, and first column. So second row and first column, box is again 0. So where we can store this elements, like whether that particular element is visited or not. So that we'll have to store. So where we can store is in their corresponding value index. In the sense, like suppose row is there, so we can store in 0th row, and since the value is 5, we can store in 4th index. Okay, why why we are making it -1? Because the indexes are only from 0 to 8. If suppose 9 is there, if we are doing it directly 0 comma 5 for row, then here how we will do for the ninth element, 9 element, it will be 2 comma row is 2, so we will be storing in 2, and the value will be 9. But this will give you array index out of bound exception, because we have only 9 elements present, 9 rows and 9 columns present. So if we give the 9, then it will be out of bound, since indexes is from 0 to 8. So what we can do is like representing 5 index 5 elements index as -1 with -1, so that they have given like the digits will be from 1 to 9. So we can take the whichever digit is there, we can understand that if suppose 0 to 4 means in that value will be 5. So we are tracking the flag of element 5. Like that we can have an idea. So what will come for 9 element? It is 2 comma 8. So that I am placing it here. Okay. So for column, the column is 0 and index is 4. Okay. And again for box, 0 0, sorry, 4. Box index is 0 and the value is 4. So these are the places which we are going to track whether that particular element is visited or not. The flag values we will update here in these positions only. Similar to that, we are doing it for value 9. So here similarly, when we do for element 9 for the column, we will get column number is 1, so 1 8, box is 0 0 8. Okay, now we can fill it for the all elements like 5 3 6 9 8. So I have created like for all the elements we need to track row wise, column wise, and boolean wise, box wise. So we are going to create a 9 cross 9 for row, for column, and this is for box. Okay, so I have represented with flag F, which means false. So initially all nodes are unvisited, so we are going to do it for 5. We are going to update the row wise tracking flag for 5. So this is to track row, so and this is for column, and this is for box. Initially everything is filled with boolean default value, which is false. So to clearly view that updation, I am making it clear all the values, but default it will be false only. So to update the row values, first we need to consider that how the I and j are used. Like for the I is the row number and j is the actual value. So to fill the value for 5, we need to take which index, the which 5 is present in which row, 0th row. So we'll have to do it in 0th row and value is 4. So we have to give 4. there we'll have to fill it with it is visited. So true will be updated to that particular cell. So if you see in this for row table, the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is mentioned on the top are the values or the top ones are the columns. So the values are represented here. So which value we'll have to do for 5? So 5 means we cannot take it directly 5 since the elements are from 0 to 8. We need to take -1. So for 4, correct? So for 4 is the value, and which row we are going to update? 0th row. So here it will become true for 5. Okay, in the row wise table. For the column wise table, we'll have to do it in which column? Column is 0 and value is 5 again. So it should be 0, 4. Here also the top ones are the values. So 0, 4 will be updated with true. And for box also it is 0th box. So it will be 0, 4. So for the first value 5, all will be in the same position for row, column and box. But for the second value, which is 3, for row we'll have to do in 0th row, but for column we'll have to do in first column, correct? So for 3 in the row wise we'll have to do 0th row, 3 is the value, so values we'll have to take this 2. So here it will be updated with true. In the column it is first column, right? 3 is first column, so we'll have to move to this first column means this one. So first column value is 2, so this will be updated here. The value is actually 3, so 3 minus 1, 2. Here it will be updated. Box is again 0th box and the value is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2, so in box 0, 2 will be updated to true. Okay, coming to 6 is 0th column and first row. So for the row wise we'll have to take the position of 1, 5. In row wise we'll have to do 1, 5, first row and 5, since the value is 6, correct? So here for column it will be the value is 6, so we'll have to put it in the 6th column. But what is the column for this one? 0. So we'll have to place it in 0th row and 6th column in the column table. 6th column in the sense 5th column. So 0, 5 for this one. 0th column, okay, and value is -1, which is 5. Okay, so box wise is 0, because this box, whole box is 0, so 0, 5, 0, 5. So we updated till 6. So next one is 9. So 9 is present in second row and the value is 9. So 9 minus 1 is 8. 2, 8. In 2, 8 we will update it as visited for row. So 2, 8. Correct? So only we are not having it as 9. 9 if we have directly, we cannot have that position to update, right? It is from 0 to 8. So only we are doing -1 for all the values. So 2, 8 we updated successfully. So for column wise, we need to check which column. First column. So 1, 8 will be updated for column. So 1, 8. 1, 8. This is for the column wise. 1, 8 is marked as visited. Okay. And for box wise it is again 0, 8. Since it is in 0th box, it is 0, 8. So box wise value it is 0, 8. So it is updated. Okay. Then next last value is 8. Okay. So 8 is for second row and second column. So in both the case, row wise and column wise it will be 2, 2, only. But the value is 2, 7. In 2, 7 place only we need to mark it as visited. So in row wise 2, 7 is this one. We are marking it as updated. In column wise we will have to make it as 2, 7 as visited. Okay. We updated this as well. And for box wise, what we need to do? For boxes it is 0 only still. It is in the 0th box and not in the second box. So we need to update the position for the 8 element in which box? 0, 7. Since the box is 0, we need to give it in 0, 7. So here 0, 7 is visited. Okay. So this is the process we will follow. Okay. If there is any duplication. So since we did not had any duplicate in this case, 53698, we did not had any duplicate. So every point is not overridden, and it had its own individual flags. Like individual flags are there, but it did not override at any point. But if there is any duplicate, we will face a it can be overridden. So if I will show an example like where it can be overridden with a duplicate value given. So now suppose I am giving here instead of 9 as 5. Okay, instead of 9, suppose I am having 5, then in that case where it will be updated for this one 5. Again if you see, it will be updated in for row wise we can see. So row wise it will be, row is 2, value is 5. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 2 comma 4 will be updated for row. So 2 comma 4, correct. Here it will have t. Then for column wise, where it will be updated for column wise, column is 1. So 1 comma 4 will be updated for column 1 comma 4. Okay, so 1 is here, 1 comma 4. 1 comma 4 will be updated for column. Okay, so next is for box wise. So box wise, which box is this? 0. 0th box and value is 4. Okay, since in box wise we already had this for 0 comma 4, right? Again we are going to update the box wise for 0 comma 4 since it belongs to the same box. So here when we go for the box wise, the 0 comma 4 is already having a visited value, like it is true. So in this case we will return it as, return that method to return as invalid or false. So if it is already visited, then we will return it as false. So now we are going to discuss the code logic. So we will be given with this is valid Sudoku method, like which returns boolean value whether it is a valid or not. So inside that, as we discussed in the logic, we are going to declare this row wise array and two-dimensional array for row and then for column and for the box to track the elements like whether it is visited or not. So that is the code logic what we have written here, like for the 9 cross 9 matrix. Okay, for row, column and boxes. So after that what we are going to do in the given actual problem, what we are going to do, we are going to traverse each element, right? 5, 3, 7, like that we are going to track. So to track elements one by one, we are going to use for loop. So that for loop is running from how many from which number to which number, from 0 to 8, right, row wise, and for column also it is 0 to 8. Since they have given all static digits, like it will be from 0 to 8, we can understand it is a 9 cross 9. So like that we are going to return and write in the for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than 9, I plus plus. So what is the value available in this matrix, like the board matrix at the position I comma j? So that only we are going to get for the first time. So that with that value we are going to perform some operation like checking whether it is visited or not, and if it is visited twice, then we are returning it false. If it is not visited, then we are going to continue with the process as we discussed earlier. So that logic we will write it here. So that logic we can see now. Okay, so for int I is equal to 0, I less than 9, I plus plus. Similarly for j. Okay, so inside this first we are going to get that character. So char c, because in the input they have mentioned that for any valid digit it is represented with a single character, and if it is empty then they are representing it with dot. So we are going to get that character will be present in which array? Board array. So this is the array, so we are going to get in board of I j. If the character is dot, which represents that it is an empty space, then we'll have to continue to the next element. If it is a valid character as a single digit, then only we'll have to proceed. So only we are having this check, like if c equal to dot, then we need to continue to the next value in the loop. Okay, if it is a valid character which is 5, then what we are going to do, we are going to get the actual digit of that character, right? So here we are going to get that character minus 1. Why we are doing the minus 1? Now suppose 5 is the character what we received, we need to get the integer digit as 4 to place it in the tracking matrix, right? Tracking matrix in the sense the row, column and the box matrix which we have declared to track whether it is visited or not. So to place it there, we need to give minus 1. So that that logic we are doing it here. So in digit is equal to c minus 1. So that will give, for 5 it will give 4. Okay. So now what we are going to check after making the digit as 4, we need to check in the row wise matrix first, right? So in the row wise matrix name is rows. Okay. Column wise matrix name is calls. Boxes is boxes. So what I'll have to check if, okay, rows of, what is the row index is I, correct, which is from 0 to 8. So rows of I, okay, and the second thing is the actual value, so that is digit. Okay. If rows of I of digit equal to false, or if it is true, okay, if it is true means what, rows of I digit is true means it is already visited, then second time if you are going to visit, then we need to return false. Okay. So we are having this condition, if rows of I digit, then we are returning it as false. Okay. Else what we will do, if it is already false, that means it is not visited yet, then we need to update it as true. So that we are doing update in the row matrix. So next one, coming to the column matrix to satisfy the second rule. Okay. So next column matrix name is calls, right? So if calls of, what is the index, we will have to mention it here. It is the column index is represented by j. So j, calls of j, and the digit in the sense that value. There what we will have to check, that is already visited means it will have value as true. Correct. If it is already having value true, then we need to return false for the second time when it is visited. So I am giving this calls of j of digit, then return false. Else what we are allowed to do, that means it is not visited before, now only for the first time we are visiting it. So default values will be, for the calls will be false only, right? This boolean calls array will have all the default values as false. So that we are, if it is false means it will not go inside this condition, this thing, and here it will be updated as true for the first time when it is visited. Okay. Now coming to the next one is what, box wise, correct? So if boxes of, that is represented by boxes. So boxes of, if boxes of, okay, we need to have that index and what is the digit, correct? So simply I am making the box index one variable. Okay. We will discuss how we will find that box index, but since the row index and the column index are easily available from the for loop and we represent it in the whole 9 cross 9 matrix, it was easier to use. But in this case box index is not available, we will have to derive it, and based on that we will be using here. So this box index is yet to derive. So if that is derived, after that what we are going to check, if box index digit is already visited, then return false. Already visited means that will have value as true. Else boxes of box index digit will be equal to true. Okay. If any of the conditions inside the loop, inside this loop, if any of the time during the evaluation, if any duplicate is there, it will return false. Nothing is happening, like all the time it is new and no duplicates, then after this for loop we will be returning this false, true, sorry, after this for loop we'll be returning this true. So that is the code logic here. So that is all for the code logic. But one point we are yet to do, right? This box index. So this box index will be an integer only. Okay. Int box index. So this we'll have to derive. Okay. That is the question mark. So how we will derive this? If you see in this or anywhere in this. Okay. So here totally there are how many boxes? There are like 9 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So which is from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 0 to 8 boxes are there. So whatever elements or cells present in the 0th box, like 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, all should be belonging to box number 0, like this. Correct? That only I have mentioned like this. So 0, 0 is 0. And 1, 1 also will be belonging to 0, 1 is also 0. Like this, if we make, then we will have an index. This 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the index, box index. But how we will make that? So that we will discuss now. So if you see, box is a 3 cross 3 matrix, right? So if you see here, this is the 3 cross 3 matrix. Okay? This is a 3 cross 3 matrix. So in 3 cross 3 matrix, there are like, for the row we are having from 0 to 8, that is 9 elements are present. So which are represented in the 3 cross 3 matrix like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which means the row total I is divided by 3. Correct? 0 to 8 is 9 elements. 9 if we divide by 3, we will get 3, which is the number of boxes in the first row. This is the number of boxes in the first row, which is I divided by 3. So that I have derived it from here. Similarly for j also, we can derive it as j divided by 3, because there are 0 to 2, 3 to 5 and 6 to 8, right? See here, 0 to 2, 3 to 5 and 6 to 8, correct? So that is also, the j is also divided by 3. Then we will get the j divided by 3 is the 3. So totally we are getting 3 cross 3. Okay. So now how we will derive the formula out of this? Like what is the formula in the sense, like for box 7, what are the values? Okay, box 7, if you see the values, it will be 6, 3, 7, 4, 8, 5. So ij values are 6, 3, 7, 4 and 8, 5. So that I have written it here. 6, 3, 7, 4, 8, 5. For all these ij values, what I should get the answer, like the box index should be 7. So these are the ij values. Okay. So now I am doing, for this ij values, I am going to apply this formula. I divided by 3. Okay. If we do I divided by 3, what is the answer? 6 divided by 3 is 2. Correct? 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. Okay. Then if I do j divided by 3, if I do, what is the thing? 3 by 3 is equal to 1. Okay. So I am getting 2, 1. Suppose if I am combining both, what will be I divided by 3 plus j divided by 3, which is 2 plus 1 is 3. But we need to get the answer as, or the index as 7 for this elements. For all the elements it should be 7. So what we can do is, if suppose I am multiplying this I by 3 by into 3 again. Okay. What will be the answer for this? It is 6, right? 2 into 3 is 6. So 6, now if we add these things both, then it will be 7. 6 plus 7 is 7. So satisfying this. So what is the formula? I am just deriving it for the first value 6, 3. I divided by 3 into 3. I divided by 3 into 3 plus j divided by 3. If we do this, then we will get this 7. I'll have to check, like for all the values, like these 3 values, this, will it satisfy? So for to check those values, we are having now I value as 7. So 7 divided by 3 is 2. 2 into 3 is 6. 4 divided by 3 is 1. So 6 plus 1 is 7 again, satisfying. So this is also valid. These two we have checked. Now it is 8, 5. So 8 divided by 3 is 2. And 5 divided by 3 is 1 again. So that for that also it is satisfied. So similar to this, it will satisfy for all the values and for all the boxes. So only we have framed the formula to find the box index as I divided by 3 into 3 plus j divided by 3. So that formula we will be doing it in that program. Here, box index, we will be finding it with that formula. So this is the actual logic of this program. We will just run it in the Leetcode and we will see the solution. Same code as we discussed, I copied it here. So we are doing that check for the row wise, column wise and for the box wise. If anywhere it fails, it is returning false, else we are updating the particular value as true. So after the final, if anywhere it didn't fail, then after the final for loop exit, we are returning it as true. So I'm going to submit it. So all test cases passed. So this is a simple solution for this, and the time complexity for this is order of n, because based on the both sides, the cells will increase, the cells will double, and also the operations what we do like lookup and updates also will increase. So for 9 cross 9 it will be 81 cells, and 16 cross 16 it is 256, and it will grow. So for n cross n it will be n square. So only we are saying that time complexity is n square. That's all for the day. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to all your friends and families. Thank you.